Welcome to Line Trading, taking a look at the SPY recap today. First thing that I posted in the pre-market brief for Discord members was to be watching for this inverse cup and handle that we were trying to form if we wanted to continue to the downside, and be looking for that handle off the open, which we will now go over. So as you can see right here, we were trying to complete this larger inverse cup right here, and we opened the day down right here. So we were looking for this smaller inverse cup and handle. As you can see, that handle right here. However, we never got the actual breakdown from this smaller inverse cup and handle and saw a continuation, and that is because there was like no volume today. On the daily candle, we only had 30 million volume today, and that is because it is a short week and there is news tomorrow and Friday, which the market is waiting in anticipation for. So this was much expected. This is why we did not see any real breakdown or breakout above, and we just moved within this range the entire day. So now that brings me to the 1 minute chart, and first thing that I posted in the morning after this move up right here was to be watching for this breakdown right here if we wanted to continue lower and close this inverse cup and handle right here, giving us that breakdown out of the range. However, that is not what happened, and instead you see we just start to chop, and the price action here is not what I want to be trading today. I would much rather wait for tomorrow and Friday when there is actually a reason to have a possible breakout. I've been trading this chop for 2 weeks, and I just simply did not have the patience today. As I explained, I'm not trading this. There were still trades you could have taken. If you were interested in scalping between the range that we had here, you could have taken this, as it did this the entire day. However, like I said, I was just not interested in that, and I will wait for tomorrow and Friday. So now let's go over the 30-minute chart and what to be watching tomorrow. So back on the 30-minute now, as I was explaining here, we are still seeing that inverse cup and handle forming on the 30-minute. It can break down. It does not mean that we are about to reverse here. However, it may take an hour and a half, and sure enough, as you can see, we did not end up actually getting this move right here for another hour and a half or so, and then started to move to the downside, and we still never got that breakout of range either. I also explained that in order to go down, we would first need to see the smaller inverse cup and handle close. That is also a part of the handle. So you can see right here, we have this handle for this larger inverse cup, and then the smaller inverse cup right here that finally did close at the end of the day, but we never saw this handle right here in order to break back down. So what that means going into tomorrow is we are still below this 5-day moving average right here. We are still trying to complete this inverse cup and handle, as we can see right here. And if we do close this smaller inverse cup and handle, if we do not open with a gap up or a gap down tomorrow, as there is news pre-market, that is what we will be watching for. But we're also still looking to complete this larger inverse cup down here to this gap. So if we do open up down here, be watching for this handle possibly before we dump. If we do gap up tomorrow, we need to remain above this 528, as well as regaining this 5-day moving average. There still is plenty of liquidity built right here. If we do want to move higher, we can regain this moving average right here and start to break out of this controlled selling that we have and start to see the move higher. Something to pay attention to as well is this 20-day moving average is starting to catch up right here, and it is coinciding with all of this liquidity right here and the gap. So if we do want to dump, you can see we have this liquidity at the left shoulder here, and if we start to form a right shoulder below this 5-day and then getting below this 20-day, forming some sort of resistance, we can easily dump that, as we do have plenty of liquidity below, forming this larger inverse cup and handle as well. And in the case that we do revisit the 20-day moving average right here, and we do not break below this, and instead we form some sort of possible reversal, we can make this a shoulder like that and form some sort of right shoulder before continuing higher. Here on the daily chart, the same thing. We were closed above the 5-day moving average right here, and we were looking for this upper Bollinger retest. However, now we are below the 5-day moving average and could be possibly looking to retest the 20-day now, as well as filling that gap below that you can see, completing this inverse cup and handle if we do start moving lower like that. And if we retest the 20-day and get a bounce, you can see how we can form some sort of inverse head and shoulder right here with all of that liquidity and regaining this 5-day moving average like that as some form of support right here before retesting this upper Bollinger. So please trade safe tomorrow and understand what we just went over. Thank you everybody for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you are not already, and I will see members in the morning.